Hi guys, this is Michelle with Let's Radiate, and today I'm recording this quick little video to show you some of the changes that Springpad has made recently. You might have seen that they just launched all of these different changes, and the changes are for the desktop, the internet thing, as well as the mobile apps. So before I jump into my review of the changes and how I feel about the changes, I'm going to tell you how I use it, just because obviously that's going to affect how I feel about the changes. So I use Springpad in four ways. I use it for references, which is this folder right here, and that's pretty much anything that I want to make sure I remember later. I have this really terrible habit of like finding something and being like, oh, that's really cool, and then I close the tab or I forget about it or the tab gets lost, and then 2 weeks later I try to find it again, but I can't remember enough about it to find it. So this folder, this notebook exists to eliminate that problem. So anytime I find anything interesting, I bookmark it here. You can see I have everything from like self-publishing to personal assistance to this product called the Butt Bench to dark chocolate. I've got all kinds of stuff here. This is also where I put the notes from all the books I read. When I get done from reading a book, I usually take notes on it and put it here. Like this is my notes from the Perfect Health Diet, which is a book I read recently. So that's the references folder. And I also use it, probably the most obvious use is for taking notes and cataloging bookmarks on various projects. So I have, you know, the folder for Let's Radiate, for Bombshell, for Three Wishes Industries, for the Tea Retreat, and all of these things. Anytime I have an idea about it or I come across a website that seems like it could be useful or makes me like it sparks something, I bookmark it to that specific folder. The third way that I use it is for recipes and shopping lists. You can see I have a recipes folder right here, which has 119 items in it, more than any of my other folders. And I bookmark like everything that looks remotely interesting related to food or to recipes, and so that I can come back here and I can search through it later. It works better than Pinterest for me for this, just because Pinterest is not easily browsable on like on your phone or on a tablet. I don't have a tablet, but I'm planning on getting one soon. And Springpad is much easier to use on mobily. I don't know if mobily is a word, but yeah. I'm a little sick today, guys, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm not quite as composed as I usually am. So I use it for this, and I use it for shopping lists. It's really, really nice to be able to create a shopping list easily on the go. Like if I have an idea while I'm putzing around the house or while I'm working on something else, I can boot up Springpad on my phone and just create a shopping list and then add to it throughout the day. And I don't know if you heard that. Rain's next to me and she just heaved a big sigh. And the recipes, like if I wanted to, I could even use Springpad. Like if I'm working from my laptop, I could use Springpad and I could create a shopping list based on several different recipes. So that's nice. And the third way, or the fourth way I use it is my stimulus cue, which is this. And so this is an idea that I got from the Accidental Creative, and it's basically anything that I want to read or to work through, but like I don't have the mental space for whatever reason right now. Like a lot of audio and video goes here because I can't, I can't skim that. So after I work through something, after I read or listen or consume something that's in this folder, the note either gets deleted or it gets moved to the references folder. So that's how I use Springpad. That's my system for it. The changes that they've made, as you can see, the main change is to the design. There's a different look. I think overall it looks quite a bit sleeker, and I think it's an improvement. There's also the quick add, which let's see if we can do that from here. No, that is not a quick, that's just a search bar. That's not a quick add. So here, if you want to, you can just start typing something, and so it'll create a note for it if you just type that, or you could type finish presentation by noon on Friday. And if it's working correctly, I tested this a little while ago. What it was doing before is that it'll create a task with a deadline of noon on Friday. So if you just type that in and hit enter, it creates the task. You can also click this drag down button and create, you know, all of these different kinds of things. Or you can even type in like okay, I don't know if it's just not working for me because it wants to be finicky or what, but theoretically you can also type in like a product and it'll show up a product and you can bookmark a product. I guess there's been, I don't, like, you know, you just listen to how I use it, and I don't really use it like that, but I guess there's been a lot of changes, a lot of improvements to how you can bookmark products so that you can bookmark a product and it will, like, search the web and collate all of the reviews so that you can see how users reviewed the product and if the product's worth buying, and it'll tell you the prices at various retailers, and it'll notify you of price drops and all that jazz, which is cool, but, you know, that's not how I use it, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. And apparently there's also been a lot of added social functionality. So, like, I now have the ability to follow notebooks, or I can explore notebooks and look at popular notebooks, and I can share my notebooks with other people. All of my notebooks are private because that's how I use it. There's not really any reason for me to share this stuff with somebody else. I'm not sure if anybody would even find any of this stuff interesting, but apparently the social functionality is much improved. It's a lot easier to collaborate and curate and share this stuff with other people. So the third thing that I wanted to cover is how these changes affect how I use it. So as you can see, the color coding of the notebooks is no longer very efficient. It's more efficient if you have it on the small view, because then the color is front and center. But this little stripe of color that they have is so small that it's not really useful for color coding at a glance. Like, it doesn't do much of anything, which is why I went through and went a little OCD on it and changed it to alternating blue and purple, because those are my favorite colors, and changed the background of the notebooks so that I have this nice checkerboard here. But yeah, so the color coding, not really very useful anymore. You also can't set the background for the home page, or as far as I know, you can't. I have not been able to find that functionality anywhere. And I know that's something that's kind of nitpicky, but I'm not sure why they would, like, why they would take that out. It doesn't make any sense to me to take that out. And I wish it was still there because I like to customize things like that. The quick add is nice when it's working. It wasn't working earlier, but I had used it before for a couple of things and it worked okay. But it doesn't have a huge impact on the way I use Springpad, just because, I mean, it's one of those things that's like, it's a nice little feature, but it's not a huge value add for me. And the social and product functionality, like, it's cool, but it doesn't have anything to do with how I use Springpad, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. So that's a quick little overview of most of the major changes and how they affect the way I use it. I'm pretty neutral on these changes for the most part, but I almost have to wonder if it's a step backwards, because it seems like it's a little less versatile now than it was before, in my opinion. I haven't been able to figure out how to add checklists or shopping lists from my phone, which was a large part of its day-to-day function for me. When I tweeted at them and asked about it, they said that it wasn't just me, but they didn't tell me if it was, I asked and they didn't tell me if it was like a glitch, or if it's something that's going to be updated in the next version of the mobile app, or if they're phasing out checklist functionality, which I hope they're not doing. I don't know why they would, but so I don't know what's going on, and I am almost wondering now if something like WonderKit might be better for me for the way I use it, or if I should switch to Evernote or what, because it seems like what they're aiming for is kind of a combination of Evernote and Pinterest, which is a cool idea in theory, but it just does not mesh with how I use it. So that's how I feel about the changes, and that's an overview of the changes from my point of view. I would love to hear how you feel about the changes, how they're affecting how you use it, and what you want to see Springpad do in the future. So come on over to the blog and leave a comment. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.